Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into 10 new games that will blow up the gaming industry in 2026 with groundbreaking ideas, stunning visuals, and next-level gameplay. So sit back, get ready, and let's get started. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis brings one of gaming's most iconic adventures back with a fresh cinematic direction, aiming to show how a classic blueprint can be rebuilt for modern players without losing its sense of mystery and danger. Developed by Crystal Dynamics alongside Flying Wild Hog and published by Amazon Game Studios, the experience follows Lara Croft on a globe-spanning hunt for the powerful Scion, an artifact tied to the secrets of Atlantis. This reimagining leans heavily into immersive exploration, encouraging players to traverse vast environments filled with hidden paths, environmental hazards, and carefully layered puzzles. Each destination, from jungle ruins to ancient temples, is crafted to reward curiosity, blending atmospheric storytelling with modern traversal systems built around agility, acrobatics, and environmental interaction. Combat complements discovery rather than dominating it, featuring tactical encounters and the return of Lara's signature dual pistols while maintaining the series' adventure-first identity. By reworking a foundational classic through contemporary design philosophies and technical advancements, the game illustrates how nostalgia and innovation can coexist, positioning it as a release that highlights the industry's growing focus on reimagining heritage titles to meet evolving player expectations. Marvel's Wolverine is shaping up to be a brutal, character-driven superhero experience that pushes mature storytelling and visceral combat into the spotlight. Developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, the title launches exclusively on the PlayStation 5 and shares continuity with the studio's connected universe established through Marvel's Spider-Man. Players follow Wolverine, also known as Logan, on a personal journey to uncover the truth behind his past and the traumatic experiments that bonded adamantium to his skeleton. The narrative blends iconic mythology with an original story, introducing adversaries like Mystique and Omega Red while taking players across diverse global locations, including Madripoor, Canada's frozen wilderness, and Tokyo's dense urban streets. Structured as a third-person single-player action adventure, the experience prioritizes exploration across large interconnected zones rather than a massive open world. Combat centers on fast, ferocious close-quarters encounters, emphasizing raw physicality, aggressive movement, and cinematic intensity to reflect Logan's rage-fueled fighting style. By combining emotional narrative depth with uncompromising action design, this release aims to demonstrate how darker, more grounded superhero projects can expand genre expectations, positioning it as one of the titles capable of influencing how cinematic licensed games evolve in the years ahead. Resident Evil REQUIEM marks a bold new chapter in survival horror, delivering a darker, more cinematic experience while reconnecting with the franchise's most haunting legacy. Developed and published by Capcom, the game returns players to the shadow of Raccoon City decades after its destruction, where long-buried secrets begin to resurface. The narrative unfolds through two distinct perspectives. Grace Ashcroft, an introverted FBI analyst investigating a mysterious case tied to her past, represents the series' classic survival horror roots, focused on stealth, tension, limited resources, and intricate puzzles. In contrast, returning agent Leon S. Kennedy delivers a more action-driven experience, blending calculated combat with strategic resource management. The dual structure creates a dynamic rhythm, constantly shifting between vulnerability and intensity. For the first time in the series, players can seamlessly switch between first-person and third-person perspectives at any moment, offering both immersive horror and tactical awareness. Intelligent enemy behavior, environmental storytelling, and tight inventory management reinforce the franchise's survival DNA, while modern refinements elevate pacing and accessibility. Powered by Capcom's RE engine, the game presents highly detailed environments, realistic character models, and an oppressive atmosphere designed to heighten every encounter. By merging classic tension with contemporary design, Resident Evil REQUIEM aims to redefine what modern survival horror can achieve. Grand Theft Auto 6 is positioned to redefine large-scale sandbox design, pushing the boundaries of immersion and systemic storytelling as it launches from Rockstar Games on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S. Set across the sprawling fictional state of Leonida, anchored by the neon-drenched metropolis of Vice City, the experience expands far beyond urban chaos into swamps, industrial zones, and wilderness, delivering one of the most diverse environments ever built for the genre. Players step into the intertwined lives of dual protagonists, Lucia Caminos and Jason Duval, navigating a crime-driven narrative where a simple score spirals into a statewide conspiracy. Seamless character switching, a dense world packed with enterable interiors, and advanced NPC and law enforcement behavior aim to create unprecedented realism where actions ripple through society dynamically. With cutting-edge visuals, evolving social systems, and a map scale that eclipses previous entries, this release is built to influence open-world design standards across the industry, setting expectations for interactivity, narrative ambition, and technological scope that other developers will be chasing for years. Crimson Desert aims to push cinematic fantasy immersion to a new level, delivering a brutal, character-driven journey across a living world designed for scale, density, and systemic interaction. Developed by Pearl Abyss, the adventure drops players into the war-torn continent of Pywell, where shifting political power and constant conflict shape every corner of the environment. Taking control of Cliff Macduff, players rebuild a shattered mercenary brotherhood while navigating personal ambition, loyalty, and survival amid chaos. The seamless open world invites deep exploration across deserts, frozen mountains, and bustling cities, encouraging traversal on foot or mounts while interacting with the environment through climbing, gliding, and physics-driven navigation. Combat is fast, heavy, and visceral, blending melee weapons, ranged tools, and elemental enhancements into fluid combinations capable of handling both intimate duels and large-scale battlefield clashes. Beyond conflict, life simulation systems, including crafting, hunting, and world interaction, add layers of immersion that extend far beyond the central narrative. Powered by advanced technology designed for high-detail rendering and dynamic encounters, this experience showcases how ambitious world-building, reactive systems, and cinematic storytelling can converge, positioning it as a release capable of influencing expectations for scope and immersion in large-scale action adventures. No Law marks a bold evolution for its creators, shifting into a cinematic first-person perspective to deliver a dense, reactive cyberpunk experience built around consequence and brutal efficiency. Developed by Neon Giant and published by Krafton, the game trades sprawling emptiness for a tightly packed urban sandbox where every alley, rooftop, and interior space is crafted for high-intensity interaction. Set in the industrial cliffside metropolis of Port Desire, players step into the boots of Gray Harker, a former Black Ops soldier dragged back into violence when his attempt at a quiet life collapses. The city itself is built vertically, encouraging climbing, rooftop traversal, and tactical positioning across layered environments. Encounters can unfold through stealth infiltration, hacking, or explosive firefights, supported by visceral gunplay, bullet time mechanics, and AI systems that dynamically react to noise and pressure. Deep cybernetic customization allows players to tailor abilities for infiltration or domination, reinforcing meaningful player agency within a systems-driven world. By combining intimate urban density with cinematic presentation and consequence-focused design, this project aims to demonstrate how smaller-scale open worlds can deliver deeper immersion, positioning it as a release capable of influencing the future direction of cyberpunk RPG structure and environmental design. REANIMAL pushes atmospheric horror into deeply emotional territory, blending cinematic platforming with cooperative survival design to create an experience built around tension, vulnerability, and shared discovery. Developed by Tarsier Studios and published by THQ Nordic, the journey follows two siblings navigating a twisted, corrupted version of their home island in search of missing friends, unraveling disturbing truths through environmental storytelling rather than direct exposition. Designed for both solo play and full co-op, the experience encourages coordination through puzzle solving, stealth navigation, and situational tool-based encounters with grotesque threats. Dynamic cinematic camera work intensifies claustrophobia and dread, while exploration stretches across interconnected locations, from abandoned industrial sites to war-scarred urban ruins, with nonlinear traversal supported by boat travel. The narrative leans into mature themes, using symbolic creature design and visual cues to reflect trauma, guilt, and fractured innocence. By combining cooperative mechanics with stylized psychological horror and cinematic presentation, this release highlights how emotionally driven storytelling and shared gameplay can redefine expectations for the genre, positioning it as a project that demonstrates new possibilities for tension building and narrative immersion in survival horror design. 007 First Light reintroduces the world's most famous spy with a bold origin story designed to redefine interactive espionage at a cinematic scale. Developed and published by IO Interactive, the game explores how a young, unproven James Bond earns his 00 status in a standalone narrative inspired by the legacy of Ian Fleming. Players step into the role of a 26-year-old Bond, newly recruited into the revived 00 program after a failed mission involving a rogue agent spirals into tragedy. Guided by his mentor Greenway and supported by familiar figures like MQ and Miss Moneypenny, Bond must uncover a far-reaching conspiracy while proving he deserves his license to kill. The story balances character growth with globe-trotting intrigue, presenting a more vulnerable and reckless version of the iconic agent. Built on IO's Glacier engine, gameplay blends stealth, sandbox-style mission design, gadget-driven infiltration, and explosive action set pieces. Players can approach objectives silently, manipulate social situations, or unleash firepower in high-intensity encounters. Cinematic vehicle chases featuring Aston Martin cars add spectacle, while single-player focus ensures narrative immersion remains front and center. By combining systemic mission freedom with blockbuster presentation, this title aims to elevate spy action games beyond linear storytelling, positioning it as a release that could influence how cinematic stealth action hybrids are crafted moving forward. Phantom Blade Zero stands out as a genre-blending spectacle that fuses wuxia martial arts with steampunk and dark fantasy, positioning itself as a bold stylistic leap capable of reshaping how action RPG combat and presentation are approached. Developed by S-Game, the experience places players in control of Soul, an elite assassin racing against time after a temporary cure leaves him with only days to uncover the conspiracy that framed him. Set within the surreal Phantom world, a semi-open universe inspired by historical Chinese aesthetics and industrial fantasy, exploration unfolds across interconnected handcrafted regions filled with secrets, activities, and narrative branches that shape multiple endings. The gameplay emphasizes precision-driven, combo-heavy combat inspired by martial arts cinema rather than traditional punishing RPG formulas. Resource management through the Shachi meter, perfectly timed parries, evasive counters, and fluid weapon switching between dozens of primary and secondary tools create a system built around mastery and expressive playstyles. By merging cinematic choreography, deep customization, and non-linear storytelling with striking artistic identity, this release showcases how cultural influences and hybrid mechanics can redefine action RPG expectations, marking it as a title with the potential to push stylistic innovation across the industry. Nioh 3 expands the Dark Samurai formula into a broader, more systemic experience, evolving the series with larger interconnected battlefields while preserving the high-skill intensity that defines its combat identity. Developed by Team Ninja and published by Koei Tecmo, the journey unfolds across myth-infused historical Japan as players step into a conflict tied to demonic corruption and shifting timelines. The core gameplay innovation lies in its seamless dual-style combat system, allowing instant transitions between disciplined samurai techniques and agile ninja tactics. Traditional stance-based melee, key management, and punishing precision coexist with fast aerial mobility, ranged tools, and accessibility-focused rhythm, giving encounters greater strategic depth. Large open-field environments encourage exploration, vertical traversal, and dynamic engagement, while corrupted, crucible zones introduce high-risk challenges that test builds against powerful yokai threats. Deep loot-driven progression and character customization further reinforce long-term experimentation and mastery. By blending refined mechanical complexity with expanded world scale and cooperative play opportunities, this installment demonstrates how established hardcore action RPG frameworks can evolve without sacrificing identity, making it a release that continues to shape expectations for depth, challenge, and hybrid combat design within the genre. And that wraps up today's explosive list. Which game do you think will blow up the gaming industry, Themo? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome gaming content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.